What if a single shot, fired from almost a mile and a half away, could still land exactly where it was aimed? That sounds impossible, but it has actually happened more than once, in real combat, with real rifles built by real engineers. Some of these rifles are over 150 years old. Others are still in service right now. Today we are counting down the 8 most accurate rifles ever made, and the real reasons they earned that reputation. This is not hype or guesswork. Every fact here comes from verified history, real records, and real numbers. By the end, you will understand why collectors, snipers, and historians still treat these rifles like legends. Let's start at number 8, and for this one we have to go all the way back to the 1850s. Number 8. The Whitworth rifle. Number 8 on this list is the Whitworth rifle, and it might be the most surprising entry here, because most people assume rifles from the 1800s were slow, clumsy, and wildly inaccurate. The Whitworth proves that idea wrong. It was designed by a British engineer named Sir Joseph Whitworth, and instead of using the normal grooved barrel that other rifles used, he built a barrel with a hexagonal bore. The bullet was shaped to match that hexagon, so it fit the barrel almost perfectly with very little wasted energy. In trials held in 1857, the Whitworth reportedly outperformed the standard British Enfield rifle by close to 3-to-1 in accuracy at long range. Only about 250 of these rifles ever reached the Confederate Army during the American Civil War. But the ones that did changed how people thought about long-range shooting forever. On May 9, 1864, at the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse, a Confederate sharpshooter used a Whitworth to kill Union Major General John Sedgwick from somewhere between 500 and 1,000 yards away. Sedgwick had just told his men they were safe, saying the enemy could not hit an elephant at that distance. Seconds later, he was dead. A year earlier, at the Battle of Chickamauga, another Whitworth shot brought down Union General William Lytle. What makes the Whitworth so easy to overlook is timing. It came out before photography and mass media could spread its reputation, so most people today have never heard of it. But almost every modern sniper rifle owes something to the idea the Whitworth proved first, that with the right barrel and the right bullet, a rifle could hit a target far beyond what anyone thought was possible. If the Whitworth proved long-range accuracy was possible, the next rifle on this list proved it could also be trusted in the worst conditions on Earth. Number 7. Lee-Enfield No.4 MKIT. Number 7 is the Lee-Enfield No.4 MKIT, Britain's main sniper rifle of World War II. What makes this rifle special is not a flashy new invention. It is the process behind how each one was built. Around 1942, factories did not build a sniper version from scratch. Instead, workers tested standard No. 4 rifles as they came off the production line and pulled out the ones that shot the tightest groups. Those select rifles were then converted into snipers. Each one got a No. 32 telescopic sight, magnified 3 times, along with a wooden cheek rest so the shooter's eye lined up with the scope the same way every time. Some of the precision bedding work was even done by Holland & Holland, a gun maker so respected that they are still known today for building some of the finest sporting rifles in the world. In total, around 26,000 of these rifles were converted during the war. What made the No. 4 T stand out was not just that it shot tight groups on a calm day at the range. It held its zero, meaning it kept hitting the same spot, even after being dropped, soaked, frozen, and dragged through mud for months. For a sniper, a rifle that shifts its aim after rough handling is useless, no matter how accurate it is on paper. The No. 4 T solved that problem, and it stayed in service well past World War II into the early Cold War. It rarely gets the spotlight that German or Soviet sniper rifles get in documentaries. But among people who study sniper history closely, it is often ranked as one of the best all-around sniper rifles ever fielded. because it combined accuracy with something just as important, durability. Reliability and accuracy were a great combination. But in 1969, one company decided to build a rifle designed from day one to guarantee something no factory rifle had ever promised before. Number 6. Steyr SSG 69. Number 6 is the Steyr SSG 69, made by the Austrian company Steyr Mannlicher. Before 1969, almost every sniper rifle in the world started life as something else, usually a hunting rifle or a standard infantry rifle that a gunsmith carefully tuned up afterward. The SSG 69 broke that pattern completely. It was the first rifle ever designed from scratch, specifically to be a sub-half minute of angle sniper rifle straight out of the factory. In simple terms, that means with good ammunition, it could consistently group its shots inside half an inch for every 100 yards of distance, with no custom gunsmith work needed. To get there, Steyr used a cold hammer-forged barrel, a manufacturing process that presses the barrel into shape under extreme pressure, which makes it more consistent and longer lasting. They also built the stock out of a synthetic material called Cycolac instead of wood, at a time when almost every other rifle in the world still used wood stocks. Chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm, the same round used by NATO forces, the SSG-69 was guaranteed accurate out to 800 meters. It became the standard sniper rifle for the Austrian Army and was used by military and police units around the world. What makes it so overlooked is that it never had one famous record-breaking shot tied to its name, and it came from a country that does not get featured in war movies very often. But its design choices, the cold hammer-forged barrel and the synthetic stock, became the blueprint that almost every serious precision rifle still follows today. The SSG-69 stayed in production for 46 years, from 1969 to 2015, without ever needing a major redesign, which says everything about how right Steyr got it the first time. While Steyr was setting a new standard in Europe, across the Atlantic, the United States was about to turn a popular hunting rifle into the backbone of American sniping for the next 60 years. Number 5. Remington 700. M40. Number 5 is the Remington 700, specifically the military version known as the M40. The Remington 700 itself started out as a commercial hunting rifle, sold to regular civilians who wanted a dependable bolt action for deer season. But in 1966, during the Vietnam War, the United States Marine Corps needed a new sniper rifle fast, and they chose the Remington 700 Action as the foundation. The result was called the M40. Marine snipers trained in the program built around legends like Carlos Hathcock carried the M40 into the jungles of Vietnam, where it earned a reputation for being dead accurate and easy to maintain in brutal conditions. The Marine Corps kept improving the design over the decades. In 1977, the M40A1 added a McMillan fiberglass stock and a fixed 10-power unital scope, making it even more consistent shot after shot. In 2001, the M40A3 brought in an aluminum bedding block and a match-grade barrel from companies like Schneider or Krieger. What makes the Remington 700 so important is not one dramatic shot. It is how many different shots it has been part of, across decades, across wars, and across police departments. The 700 Action became the most copied bolt-action design in the history of precision rifles. Walk into almost any gun shop today, and you will find rifles that are either a Remington 700 or built using parts designed to fit one. That kind of quiet, lasting influence is easy to overlook compared to a single famous shot, but it is exactly why this rifle belongs on this list. Few designs have proven their accuracy across as many decades and as many different hands as this one has. The Remington 700 proved a bolt-action rifle could be trusted for generations. Number 4. Heckler & Koch PSG-1. Number 4 is the Heckler & Koch PSG-1, a German rifle with one of the more unusual origin stories on this list. In 1972, terrorists attacked Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympics, and German police were criticized afterward for not having the precision weapons they needed to respond properly. Heckler and Koch took that criticism seriously and built the PSG-1, based on their G3 rifle, but heavily modified with a heavy free-floating barrel, an adjustable trigger, and a stock built for long-range precision shooting. To even pass acceptance testing, each PSG-1 had to fire 50 rounds of match-grade ammunition into an 80mm circle at 300 meters. That works out to roughly 1 minute of angle, and if even one of those 50 rounds landed outside that circle, the rifle failed and was rejected. Independent testing later showed many PSG-1 rifles could shoot groups under half a minute of angle at 100 yards using good ammunition, which is exceptional for any rifle, but especially for a semi-automatic. The PSG-1 became the rifle of choice for GSG-9, Germany's elite counter-terrorism unit, and it stayed in production from 1972 until 2014. What makes it so often overlooked is that most people assume only bolt-action rifles can be truly accurate, since every time the bolt cycles on a semi-auto, there is a chance for something to shift. The PSG-1 proved that assumption wrong with strict factory testing and real-world results. Today, original PSG-1 rifles are rare collector pieces, often selling for anywhere between $45,000 and $125,000. Which tells you exactly how respected this rifle still is among people who know guns. The PSG-1 proved accuracy did not require a bolt action, but the next rifle on this list took a completely different approach. By building a rifle around a cartridge so big that most people assumed real precision was impossible at that size. Number 3. Barrett M82 M107. Number 3 is the Barrett M82, also known by its military designation, the M107. This rifle has one of the most unlikely origin stories of any weapon on this list, because its creator, Ronnie Barrett, was a photographer with no formal training as a gunsmith or engineer. In the early 1980s, while photographing a riverboat that had a .50 caliber machine gun mounted on it, Barrett realized there was no rifle in the world built around that massive .50 BMG round. He sketched out a design on his dining room table, then built the first prototype by hand in a garage with a dirt floor. Despite those humble beginnings, the rifle worked, and it worked well. Barrett started selling it commercially in 1983. And in 1989, Sweden became the first country to officially adopt it. In 1990 and 1991, during the Gulf War, the United States Marine Corps used early M82A1 rifles in combat for the first time, and the rifle performed well from the start. The M82 fires the .50 BMG round, the same cartridge used in heavy machine guns, and it has an effective range of around 1,800 meters, well over a mile. Because it is semi-automatic, it gives up a little bit of accuracy compared to a bolt-action rifle in the same caliber, but it makes up for that with faster follow-up shots on targets like vehicles, equipment, and personnel at extreme range. The M82 and its variants are still in active use today, including by Ukrainian forces since 2014. What makes this rifle stand out is the gap between where it started, a garage with a dirt floor, and where it ended up, one of the most recognized and feared .50 caliber rifles on the planet. The Barrett showed the world what a .50 caliber semi-automatic could do, but the next rifle on this list took the same massive round, put it into a bolt action, and helped set multiple world records along the way. Number 2, McMillan TAC-50. Number 2 is the McMillan TAC-50, built by McMillan Brothers Rifle Company out of Phoenix, Arizona. The design dates back to the late 1980s, but it became truly famous after the year 2000, when Canada officially adopted it as the C-15 long-range sniper weapon. The United States Navy SEALs also use a version of it, designated the Mark 15. With match-grade .50 BMG ammunition, the TAC-50 is capable of around half a minute of angle accuracy, which is remarkable for a rifle firing around this size and this heavy. In March 2002, during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan. Two Canadian snipers from the same unit set new records within days of each other using this rifle. First, Master Corporal Aaron Perry hit a target at 2,310 meters, breaking a record that had stood since 1967 when Carlos Hathcock made a confirmed hit at 2,286 meters using a scoped Browning .50 caliber machine gun rather than a rifle. Just days after Perry's shot, Corporal Rob Furlong from the same Canadian unit extended the record even further to 2,430 meters, also with the TAC-50. That is nearly 1.5 miles. 15 years later, in 2017, an unnamed Canadian Special Forces sniper reportedly used a TAC-50 to hit a target from around 3,540 meters away in Iraq, setting yet another record. What makes the TAC-50 stand out is not just one shot, but a pattern. Across more than 2 decades, this single rifle design has been connected to some of the longest confirmed sniper shots ever recorded, in different countries, different wars, and different decades, which is a level of proven performance very few rifles can match. The TAC-50 set records that stood for years, but the rifle that takes the #1 spot on this list is the one that finally broke the TAC-50's most famous record. And it did it with a level of precision that is still studied today. Number 1. Accuracy International AWM L115A3. Number 1 is the Accuracy International AWM, known in British military service as the L115A3. This rifle comes from a company that, back in the 1980s, introduced something that changed precision rifle design forever: an aluminum chassis system. Before this, almost every sniper rifle used a wood or fiberglass stock that could warp, swell, or shift slightly depending on temperature and humidity, which could throw off accuracy in ways that were hard to predict. Accuracy International replaced that with a rigid aluminum chassis, and that same idea is now used in nearly every modern precision rifle made by any major manufacturer. The L115A3 fires the .338 Lapua Magnum round, which sits between the smaller 7.62 NATO round and the massive .50 BMG, giving it longer range than a standard sniper rifle without the bulk and weight of a .50 caliber rifle. In November 2009, in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, British sniper Craig Harrison used an L115A3 to hit 2 Taliban machine gunners with consecutive shots from 2,475 meters away, breaking the record set by Rob Furlong's TAC-50 7 years earlier. To make that shot, Harrison had to aim about 6 feet higher than his scope's maximum elevation and 20 inches to the side of his actual target, just to account for how much the bullet would drop, drift sideways, and how much the earth itself would rotate underneath the bullet during its flight time. That level of calculation done correctly on a real target in real combat conditions is part of why this rifle and this shot are still studied by snipers and instructors today. Records have continued to move since then, with newer specialized rifles pushing distances even further in recent years.